Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to another video. Today I got a dozen RIP TKO arrows here from Victory. They are the 300 spine, and I basically want to go over everything that I do when it comes to the fletching side of the arrow. So before we get started though, if you could please click that subscribe button. It really helps us out. We appreciate all you guys' support, and also click that like button too. That also helps us. So let's get started. First things first, let's kind of go over everything that I have here. You got the arrows, obviously. We got our fletching jig. Now what I'm using today is the Arizona Easy Fletch. This is the Mini Max. It's a super aggressive helical. Bitzenberger works. All the other, I think there's two other Arizona Easy Fletches that they sell. They all do a really great job. I like this one just because it's just so convenient. Obviously, vanes of choice, I'm going to run the TAC Driver Hybrids 2.25s today. And then also they do recommend using the primer pen for their products. So if a manufacturer does have a primer pen or they do recommend it, I would suggest using it. There's usually a reason why. Got the TAC glue, like I said, the TAC primer pen. This stuff works really well also. If you don't have any TAC or boning, or actually I guess this is the boning. If you don't have like the TAC or any other manufacturer's glue, this boning blazer bond works like for everything. It's super durable and super reliable. What I've done is I've taken all the glue out of this TAC bottle and I put it in this, I think it's called the boning glue bottle. These things are really easy to use. They're super cheap. I think it's only like $4.99 or $5.99. I recommend picking up one of these, and then also these little glue dispenser nozzles. They fit right on top of this. All you gotta do is just pop that red cap off. Go ahead and give this thing a couple turns, and there you go. Now you got like a fine point glue applicator that you could put on your vanes, which it works when you use these plastic jigs, because if you overdo the glue and you get a lot of leakage inside this jig, I've already busted one of these because all the glue ran down and it got into the pivoting arm and it dried up, and when I went to open it, it just snapped right off. So this is actually my second fletching jig. We're going to use some Scotch-Brite. These Victory arrows, they have what's called an ice coating on them. It helps to pull your arrow out of the target. It doesn't work very well when you try to glue vanes on. So in this area right here, I like to hit it with the Scotch-Brite. I do the coarse or fine, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're not really taking a lot of stuff off, you're just taking that shiny coating off. And then once you get that off, go ahead and clean it with some acetone. I have a little DIY paper target here behind me. What I'm going to do first, which is the most important thing in my opinion, is I got a nock tune. I want to make sure that I have the stiffest portion of the arrow lined up in relation to the nock for every single shot. That way I know when I'm going out there and I'm shooting, especially with fixed blade broadheads, which I've noticed it the most. If you don't have a consistent spine alignment on your arrow when you nock it on your string, that you can have like one or two flyers out of a group of 12 arrows. So for me, it's super important. I like to nock tune first. I'll shoot all my bear shafts through paper, see how they're tearing. If it's a little off, I'll just make a small adjustment, turn that nock a little bit, shoot it again, and basically keep shooting until I get the results that I like. Once I do that, I'll go ahead and make a little mark with the silver Sharpie so I know where my spine is, and then that will be the area that I line up with the cock vane on the jig, which you do have to adjust these jigs. If you look inside, there's a bar. It's adjustable by rotating a little dial that's inside here. I like to use a flathead screwdriver, apply just a little bit of pressure in to kind of release it from its lock from the spring, and then you gotta kind of rotate it. It has a whole bunch of different settings, so you can rotate it, you know, I think every maybe 10 or 12 degrees. And what the end goal is you want that bar to be in there perpendicular to this off-colored arm right here on the jig, because this is going to be your cock vane. Like for my instance, it doesn't really matter because I have all white, but if you did want to run your cock vane as a different color, that's why they have this as standing out, the lighter blue than these ones. So the thing about the Victory arrows is that they come from the factory with a spine aligned arrow logo located next to their logo on the shaft. right here you can kind of see there's an arrow emblem. You got the fletching and like the tip of the arrow, and it says spine aligned on it. So they've come out of the factory indicating that they're getting the stiffest portion of the arrow that's right along that spine aligned arrow. I found over the years that it's right for about 10 out of the 12 arrows that you get out of the dozen. So what I like to do is I'll use that as my starting reference point when I go to bare shaft tune, or actually nock tune rather. I'll line that spine aligned logo straight up from my rest. So I'll rotate the nock, get it lined up with that perpendicular, go ahead and shoot, and then from there I'll go ahead and make my adjustments. That way it makes the nock tuning process go a lot faster because you're starting in a spot that has some sort of a stiffness to it instead of just randomly starting anywhere around the shaft. I shoot these X nocks here, so they have a little X logo on top of on one side of the nock. I'll use that as my upward facing side of the nock. I'll align that in line with the spine align logo right here, and I'll go ahead and shoot those through the paper. Hopefully we'll get a bullet hole on every one. If not, what I'll do is I'll just rotate the nock about 20 to 30 degrees and just keep shooting until I get a perfect bullet hole, and then that's when I'll mark it, and then that's how I'll fletch my arrows. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna take all these arrows, make sure all the nocks are lined up with that spine align logo, get the paper tuner target out, set it outside in front of a bale, and we're going to shoot all these through there. And once we get them all set and marked, then we'll come back in here and we'll prep the arrows for the vanes and the glue. Actually, I'm kind of curious what you guys think of the whole nock tuning process. Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about it, if it's something that's worth doing, or even if it's something that you guys plan on doing in the future. Alright, so we've shot about 6 arrows now until we finally got our bad tear. Well, not a perfect bullet hole tear. So you can see right here, this was the first shot of the arrow. It tore about 1/4 inch nock right. So all I did, super simple, I just took this nock, rotated it about 90 degrees, shot it again, and we got a perfect hole. So it's just the little things like that that I think, in my opinion, they make a big difference. So we'll finish off these arrows here. We got about 4 or 5 more to go, and we'll get back in the garage and start fletching. All right, so we just got done paper tuning outside. There was 2 arrows that we had to nock tune, that we had to rotate the nocks on. One was a little bit more than the other, but regardless, they're all shooting bullet holes now. Got all of them marked with the silver Sharpie. So now we're ready to etch the ice coating that Victory has on the arrows. We're gonna use a Scotch-Brite. Once we get that all roughed up, we're gonna clean it off with a rag and some acetone. And then we're gonna go ahead and throw them in the jig and get some fletchings on them. Alright, so now we have the arrows scuffed up and cleaned off with the acetone. We're going to go ahead and put them in the jig here. Earlier I did say that you wanted that bar to be perpendicular to the cock vane, which I was wrong. You actually want it parallel to that. So when you go to put it in there, you can see I have my mark right there for my spine. I'm going to go ahead and place that in here, and then it caught it, so it's kind of locked into that bar that's in there. It's locked into the nock. Before we get started, let's go ahead and not forget to clean up some of these vanes. We're gonna primer a few of them here just to have them all ready. So pretty much all we have to do now, we're gonna set our vanes inside of those channels, apply some glue, close it up, wait about 20 seconds, and we're good to go. That's one of the things I like most about this jig is the convenience factor. It travels well. You could do all 3 vanes at one time, and you probably get a dozen arrows done in half hour or less. I mean, it's so convenient, it's so easy. So all I do is I just put the vanes in, push them all the way down to where they stop. That way they're all the same. And like that, we are ready to apply the glue. Alright, got all the vanes glued. I did lift up, you twist, come down, and then put the retainer ring on. We're gonna wait about 20 seconds for this arrow. Pull the retainer ring off, check it, make sure we don't have any overspill on the vanes. If we do, we'll just wipe it up with the rag, and then just keep going to town until they're all done. All right, so these have been sitting here for about 25-30 seconds. There you have it, folks. Finished product. Clean up a little bit of that glue. Didn't get much leakage though. That's the nice thing about having that little tip. It really focuses on where you put the glue. But that pretty much does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a pretty straightforward how-to video as far as fletching goes. By no means is this like how you have to do stuff. This is just what I've found that has helped me in the past, and I've gotten the most out of my arrows, especially in grouping out at distance. Be sure to subscribe. It really does help. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline in regards to how-to and DIY stuff that you can do in your garage. You don't need a lot of tools, don't need a lot of setup. Like anything in archery, it's all about the little things, and it's all about the details. So hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you guys on the next one.